Welcome back to American Sunrise. It is time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope this morning, a simple at-home brainwave test could detect Alzheimer's years before diagnosis. Researchers at the University of Bath have developed a 3-minute fastball test that records electrical activity in the brain while patients view images. It's been shown to spot memory problems linked to Alzheimer's and can even be done from home. With millions affected and new drugs most effective when the disease is caught early, this breakthrough could be a game changer for early detection and treatment. Now, a new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there is only so much the government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home with each and every one of us. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from TWC doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you are prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits. Kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/RAV today and order. Again, that's twc.health/RAV, and make sure to use the promo code RAV to save 10%. Now let's send it over to David.
Thank you very much. All right, Joe Scarborough over on MSNBC's Morning Joe is calling on Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to partner with the Trump administration on cracking down on crime in Chicago. Take a look at J.B.
I actually think that J.B. Pritzker should do something radical. I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, and say, you know and I know you don't have the constitutional authority to deploy the National Guard here and to police my. You can do that in D.C., you can't do that in Chicago. But let's partner up. These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership that's constitutional, that respects the sort of balance of federalism between the federal government and the state government. And let's work together to save lives. Because right now, just hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, you know, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. Well, protect their lives. That's protecting their dignity.
All right, for more, let's bring in Republican strategist and a fellow at the Independent Women's Forum. That would be Nicole Kipralov. Nicole, good to see you. Look, so here's the problem. Even if Pritzker picked up the phone, the priorities are totally different. I mean, he's going to want more federal money for agencies in Illinois or community grants and programs, things like that. All a waste of time. Trump wants boots on the ground, so to speak. Good morning to you. Your take.
And more money for illegal immigrants, too. We know Illinois has one of the most expensive programs to give benefits to illegal immigrants. But look, he would never pick up the phone because his Trump derangement syndrome is too strong. And it's sad because the reality is that in Chicago over this past Labor Day weekend, there were 8 people who were shot dead. There were over 50 people who were wounded across 37 crime incidents throughout the city, and Pritzker just doesn't care. And in light of these dire circumstances, I can't think of a single cogent argument, David, to be made against President Trump's plan to send the National Guard to Chicago, whether Pritzker likes it or not. Pritzker is one of the worst governors in this country. He said that Chicago doesn't need the National Guard because apparently crime is down by 50%. And my question is, why isn't it down by 100%, Governor Pritzker? No elected official should rest until crime in their jurisdiction is down by 100%. That should be the mentality. If you're Governor Pritzker or Mayor Johnson, you have the responsibility to keep every single constituent safe, period.
Well, I think it's going to be a constitutional fight. I know a lot of folks are saying this is a violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. But the problem here is, well, I shouldn't say the problem. I think what's going to end up happening is that Trump is probably, and it's a bold move, is going to invoke the Insurrection Act. I think that's what's probably going to end up happening. And when he does that, the problem for liberals and Democrats is, quite frankly, it is so broadly written back in the day. What was it, 100, almost 200 years ago, or more than 200 years ago? So because it's broadly written, he may be able to get away with it. He's itching for a fight at the Supreme Court over this, and until then, I mean, look what happened in Los Angeles with the immigration protests. Even though the judge said you can't do it, he didn't kick the troops out. He said, okay, the troops can stay. They just have to do it a little bit differently. The point is that we're itching for a legal fight here, Nicole.
Yeah, and look, I think, you bring up the Insurrection Act. I think there's a reason we have, I'm not a lawyer, but I think there's a reason we have federal laws like the Insurrection Act in the first place. And that's, to intervene when states can't or refuse to protect citizens. And, I think if denying help becomes a shield for inaction, then really what's the point of federal responsibility? Protecting liberty, it's not partisan. It's completely, I think, constitutional. And also look at, the mockery coming from Pritzker and Johnson. And I think that's just outright disgusting. Pritzker mocked President Trump's actions as a reality game show. He's, accusing Trump of staging a drama. But he isn't just mocking Trump here. He's mocking the very real families who are living in fear every day of violent crime, who he refuses to protect. To the families of the people shot dead in Chicago, this isn't reality TV. This is a very real, very devastating crisis, and Trump is addressing it. He should address it. He said he has no choice. He needs to do whatever he needs to do within the legal framework of this country to protect the people of this country. That's what he was elected to do, and he's taking that very seriously.
Yeah, but we got about a minute or a little less than that. But take a look at this Hill headline. This cracks me up. Trump is saying that the portrait of the Biden auto pen to be unveiled at the White House. So he had this conversation with the Daily Caller in the Oval Office. He's like, hey, take a look. I'm doing this whole Rose Garden thing with all these portraits, and I'm going to put a portrait of the auto pen in the Rose Garden. And by the way, Nicole, I read through the transcript. I think he's very serious. I mean, this is not like something that he's kidding around with. I think he's serious. Curious to get your take. We got about 20 seconds or so.
Well, look, the gravitas, I think, comes in when it's an intentional reminder of the biggest cover up in the history of this country, right? And how the mainstream media, Democrats in power, media talking heads, everyone, staff members, Harris staff members, Biden staff members were complicit in gaslighting the American people. This is one of the worst betrayals in the history of this country. And that's where the seriousness of this comes in. We can never forget, and we can never allow for anything like this to happen again.
No doubt about it. He is a piece of work for sure. I remember in 2016, I was on Morning Joe. Yes, I was on Morning Joe. And he called me after the show and he said, you weren't very nice to me. I said, what are you talking about? I was talking about Marco Rubio. He goes, I know, you were saying nice things about Rubio. That's bad for Trump, is what he said. And I said, you're a piece of work. And then he started laughing. He knows he's a piece of work. All right, Nicole. No one like him for sure. We're not going to see that in our lifetime ever again, or for lifetimes, plural. Nicole, great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you bet. Coming up, New York Congressman Jerry Nadler speaking about a piece of work in a different way, a large piece of work. He's leaving Congress after this term. Is anybody truly going to miss him? Well, we assess that next on American Sunrise.